Why do they mop up the blood if they're trying to stage a crime scene?
Whatever they found, I think it's safe to assume that it's very bad.
Gone Girl, directed by David Fincher and based upon the novel, the global bestseller, I should say, by Gillian Flynn, unearths the secrets at the heart of a modern marriage.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
There's the premise for you.
Yeah, you got Ben Affleck there, Rosamund Pike, kind of as the main stars here. Now, first of all, this is a movie, like, if you love the book, obviously you're going to want to know and go to and see how they do. And my understanding is they follow the book pretty well here. This is a movie that is mysterious and a little bit dark and trying to figure out what's going on. And so that's the way that kind of compellingly tells its story. And when you have a movie that has a really good, compelling kind of mystery behind it, it's kind of hard to mess it up sometimes.
Is it predictable?
You know, that's a great question. I think the answer is no. What I love about this movie is that it gives you its secrets at the right time. So it doesn't hold them too long where you already know and you're just kind of waiting for it to be revealed. And yet it also holds them just long enough that you kind of keep that mystery in suspense. So I think it does a pretty good job at that.
Okay, so he's known, David Fincher, for the darker, edgier movies. You said this one's dark.
Yeah,
so.
it is. It is definitely Fincher at his Finchiest. I mean, he is a dark, like you think of like Fight Club, Zodiac is another one he did. He's not afraid to play around the edges of that darkness, and he definitely does that here. Definitely a rated R for a reason. You know, there's a lot of content in here, so something to be aware of. But he tells a good story here, and I should mention Ben Affleck is, you know, really good here. It makes me wonder, like, does he want to be an actor or a director? Because he's been doing so good at both. Like, you know, how do you choose what you want to do? Apparently he wants to do both.
So give me the best, worst, and final grade on this one.
Sure, for Gone Girl, best thing I said was Pike's Peak, and that's Rosamund Pike, the leading actress. She is phenomenal in this. She's asked to do a lot in this role as the wife, and she pulls it off really, really well. I was really impressed with her. As far as worst thing I said, Long Gone. It's about 2.5 hours long. And you can feel it because of the way Fincher tells his stories, kind of paces them. You can definitely feel the length on this one. As far as overall grade, I still said really good, A-.
Very cool. All right, maybe it's one to see then. All right, next, she terrified you in The Conjuring, but this is where it all began for Annabelle. All right, so this is a prequel to Conjuring.
It comes before The Conjuring, and that was a surprise hit last year. One of those horror movies that kind of jumps up above the genre. Like, you have people who love all the horror movies, so they go and see them for the scares, and then there are those that kind of get above to a broader audience.
Right.
I don't think this is going to do the same, and I think the reason is pretty simple. It's just not as good of a movie as The Conjuring. The Conjuring found a way to tie you to these characters and to make you kind of feel what they were going through and to care about them. And this movie just doesn't. It all feels very cliche. It feels like your typical horror movie with the jump scares. Do you know what a jump scare is?
I can surmise what that is.
Like, my brother used to, you know, run up ahead of us and hide behind a corner, right? And then he'd
Ethan
jump out
does that to me.
and jump out and scare you and say boo. That's basically what this movie does over and over again. And it scares you, but at the same time, there's no depth to it. All it is just saying boo.
Right.
So so there's not really much beyond that.
I don't know. Ethan does that to me, like, literally, and it scares me to death. I'm literally like, ah! Like, I mean, terrified
That's
scream.
this movie. A lot of bumps, a lot of bangs, and then it's over, and there's not much depth to it. So, yeah.
Boo.
Yeah.
So, best, worst, and final grade?
Yeah, as far as best thing, I said the heap of creep. There are some really creepy moments in it. If you love horror movies for kind of that creepy stuff, you will like those moments. As far as worst thing, I said scares, but no cares. So there are all those scares, but there's not really anything to care about in the movie. And this is a really bad movie. I said D+.
Wow. Not bad. Darn.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and it's especially
anything else?
It's especially disappointing because The Conjuring was such a surprise hit. There is something else. There's a really good movie that just came out called The Good Lie about Sudanese refugees of war.
Wow.
About children who have to make their way through war and they travel thousands of miles on feet.
True story?
True story.
I would love it then.
And it focuses on these Sudanese kids in a really powerful and deep way. That also came out this week. It might be one to see.
The Good Lie?
The Good Lie is what that one's called, yeah.
Very good. All right, Aaron Dicer, your movie friend. More reviews from him at KY3.com. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, thanks.
When we come back, Jeremy Ray will finish up our breast cancer awareness project. You won't want to miss it.